Okay, recording. Go ahead, sorry.
Okay, good. Okay, Club Express, and our question is, are we going to do it or not? And Club Express was first given to us at the convention last, was that June? Yeah, last June. And I sat in on it. I think Connie sat in on it. A couple of other people sat in on it. And it looked very interesting. And National is supporting it. This problem is that Illinois is not supporting it. So we have, and how this works, it's a huge piece of software and has many facets, and there'll be a big learning curve on this. And they have different levels of service for the websites, and they have search engines, operations, and what they call widgets. You can add little icons and stuff to do things for your people. But this particular piece of software was designed originally to go from like the local league to the state league to national. There are several states that are using this, but Illinois just spent a small fortune doing that thing with Salesforce to have the data that they need. Well, more than likely, if we do this, we'll probably still have to keep two databases. This one and the state. They have a lot of training and a lot of support with it. The administrations on this, you can have an administrator can have full access, and then you can have administrators for each sections, like the administrator, administrators for the certain different parts of it. You have members logins. Members can have access to all their information, and they can see a list of names and addresses, or they can opt out. You know, like now we have to make sure people are opted out or not opted out. They can check that it is to opt out for their data to be sent around. So they can, and they can make that information. Now the administrator can see it all, but if we wanted to print it, there'd always be something that says, oh no, you can't do that because that person has opted out of being on a big list. There's different types of entries. You can ask essay questions, you can ask information, and you can limit and the members can limit what other people can see. It will show all kinds of information. It'll, you know, not only will it show their name, address, phone number, we can add fields too. But it can show whether the dues were paid or not, whether that person ordered merchandise, how they paid. Member can see their profile, and they can edit it. They can take off or change the information as needed. The administrator can add fields up to about 40 above their normal, and I think the normal is quite a few. But for instance, like our league likes to know what legislative districts everybody's in, so that we would have to add those fields. Certain things would have to be added to be put in, but we would like, you know, we know those types of things, so we can tweak it a bit. We can tweak it quite a bit, I guess. You can turn on additional things for blogs, photos. You can put all the photos in one place. All photos can be stored and then pushed out to any of our social media accounts once they're attached to the system. So if you have a photo and you want to send it over to Facebook, you can do that, or whatever. You can set up interest groups. We can set up blogs on this. And only the administrators can make changes. So if there's an administrator for, like here I put the example, for example, we have a person who does a newsletter. That person would be the only one that would be able to make changes to it, but it could be sent out to everybody. And there's full email capabilities. You'll be able to see your sign up in either public or just by members. Mail is a drag and drop. Once it's created, you just drag the names over to the thing, to the email. It can be optimized for mobile phones. It has web pages and templates to make your own web pages. It has discussion boards and a listserv. You all know what a listserv is. Like, for instance, people can just send out information to a certain group within the program. And each chapter has its own administrator. You can have access to documents. I mean, like, we could put the climate change folder up there and everybody can have access to it, or just the people in the climate change. It has survey ability, like SurveyMonkey, and we can develop we can make events in the Club Express and then push it out to our social media places. So you don't have to make it 10 different times. You make it once and you send it out to whomever, to whatever social media one, Facebook, Nextdoor, that type of thing that we're using, Twitter. You can keep a credit card on file. They do not auto charge. And then they have a built-in purchase for nonprofits. And this was one of the things that Jane Berman asked me about. When someone registers to volunteer, like through sign up Genius, volunteer hours are automatically put in the members and non-members profiles. We can have non-members on this also. The volunteer administrator then can extract that information through a report. And the report can be searched by date range or to make monthly reports. So nobody, like say Jane could go in and find out who volunteered in the month of January. And, she would get those hours on those people. And these are some of the questions that the committee asked that I've got the answers from when I interviewed Jim. But what are the reporting features that are available? Can we leverage information to our computers? And can we download the member information to our computers? There are hundreds of reports that can be printed, emailed, and downloads. And reports can be created in any format. We can add fields, but they have to be in a question format. So if we wanted to add a field like, what district are you in? We would have to say, what district are you in? Congressional, state senate, state representative. Can we import information? We can import our own information, but we need to match the fields, which is something, if you've ever worked on databases, you can do. But they will help you set all this up as part of their setup fee. So they will do a lot of the heavy lifting of getting this started. They're going to charge us for it, and I'll show you that in a minute. And this takes the place of, we won't need Remind, MailChimp, Sign Up Genius. We can upload our own web pages. I said, can we upload our own web pages, or does it need to be in their system? It needs to be in the format of Club Express. They have 150 limited pages, semi-custom pages, which they will help us design and put that we can use as templates and things like that for whatever we want. But it has to be in their format. So I couldn't do it in like Dreamweaver or something and then upload it into their system. I would have to create it in their system, but they have all the things necessary, and you can add a widget that, let's say you make a thing for registration for dues or something, then you can put the widget that would go right to the dues section or something, a little icon. And how are accounts created and maintained? The user creates the account from a league page. So you would have a link, and they would have to put their information in, and it's a self-serve password. They create their own. The emailing is handy for events, but it can be used. You can use email at any time. You can use email for any time. You can send them out reminders, but or specialties. You can use email all right from it. And these were some of the questions and comments that were made. Like Nancy said, I like that the documents can all be in one place and we wouldn't leave the website. Although if they can't get to Google Docs from our website, this will be much easier. I'm not a fan of Google Docs. Yes, Nancy, I agree with Nancy on that one, but that's all right. I've been using it and, you know, but can the financial data be downloaded in an Excel format or as a CDS? And it can be downloaded into, if you have QuickBooks, Excel, you can download the data from their financial into something else if you need it. Donations, volunteer events, receipts are kept in the member's profile, and they can be, reports can be made from those receipts. So if we wanted to see how many people bought things or how many, a receipt is made for every transaction that somebody does. Is there an extra for coordinating with the banks or PayPal? No processing fee, but there is a transaction fee. Money from the credit card goes back into your account. So if the credit card charges like a percent, that goes back into your account. They charge you the fee. But they are going to be using, like I said something about using swipe, you know, the, oh gosh, what's the thing with it? You swipe with the cards on our phones. He says they're going to be coordinating. They may have already started with a company called Phone Swipe, which is now going to be called payanywhere.com. I have the link here to that company, and but once we get started, this is all in one place and stuff like that. So we can go back to the thing and do that. My question was, how can we divide up the money that goes to national into the state, and what do we do when our own state is not using Club Express? National is aware of new members as they register, and it's done in real time. So if we register somebody and they pay dues, National already gets that information. And I told him how we were doing it. And according to him, according to Jim and iClub, we can opt out of hooking up to the National League. So we continue to do our dues as the way we do them now. But that will mean we still have to enter into the national database, which means keeping two databases. But the national database doesn't, the one from the state does not ask for that much information. So the system works from the local to the state to the national. So if our state does not link that way, we don't have to. So we can probably, you know, like keep the money in the back like we do now and then turn it in later. We get notifications when a new person registers. The people who need to be notified are notified right away. Like the treasurer would be notified, the president would be notified. Payment screens, there's several in the area. You can have more than one administrator for each one. Hundreds of different reports. We can create a system, and whoever needs notification will get it. Treasurer gets email for every transaction. The dues are set on an automatic reminder. Different banks accounts can be set up if you want, but they must be separate bank account numbers, or we can just dump it all like we do now into one and then make the division. But you can put it into separate accounts if you need to do it, but then you have to have, you have to set up different accounts. We can get who owes, who pays, can the financial, we did that one, okay, with some other things. Is there extra for coordinating with their banks? The bank fees are whatever we pay now. If we have to pay a fee to a bank, that's up to us. They don't do that. Automatic receipts are issued, and the receipts are kept in the member's profile. The member can control what is visible except to the administrator. So if somebody donates but doesn't want a lot of people to know except the administrator, they can keep that out of their profile. I did a comparison with another company that, and let me know if you see this. Do you see this thing that says Wild Apricot versus Club Comparison? Okay. This is another company. I did a search and I found this other company that does very, very similar work. Club Express got more things for it, but this is Club Express provides clubs and associations with the same, with what they, I forget what SAS stands for, platform. I used to know it, but it's a very typical type of database. It's web-based. You can get an iPhone app. Right now they don't have an Android app, but I think they're working on it. This is not, the typical customers here are not small business or mid-sized. They're mainly not-for-profit. They have customer support online, tutorials. They're very, very good at customers reports. This is some of the screenshots that you can do. The pricing starts from $24 a month, and a free trial is available, but I looked at doing the free trial. By the time you sign your life away, I think you're going to pay for it. No credit card is required, and it's subscription based. And the reviews on it, the value for the money, the ease of use. The other one had a little more, but it doesn't have as many features, and it has very good customers report. 92% would recommend Club Express. 90% would recommend its competitor. Club Express might even be better because and here it says Club Express might be better for us if more of our members were enthusiastic about its sophisticated features or even comfortable with them. These are heavy duty databases. The people are very organized. The people behind the organization are excellent. They're always help. We've had good experience with Club Express and found the online webinars to be particularly beneficial to our webmaster and others. Here's some of the cons on these. Spacing is inflexible. Fonts change for no reason. Developers are constantly revising. Now this may slow down as they get it right. Extremely difficult to navigate, very confusing and difficult to add PDF files. I don't see why, but that might be changed. Users are constantly confused. User interface is horrendous. Folks who work with the club members on implementation did not provide adequate guidance, so product is almost unusable. This one, the sign-up process, the other one, the sign-up process was difficult. We have a talented group, but there's still a bit of nervousness with the compartmentalization of everything. So that was the thing on that. So do you see my screen again that says comparisons? Okay, thank you. This is the pricing. The pricing on this. This is with no help at all. And even I think I might need help on this. They recommend this package, the Builder Pack, that will help you set up, help you customize some web pages and things like that. They will configure your membership. This has the modules built in, 20 modules built in, and you can add more if necessary. So this is what they say is the starter pack. The cost is $24 for a month for members under 240. After 240, it's an additional 10 cents a person per month, plus 5 cents for each additional member. So if you have a household member, that's another, that family would be 15 cents a month after 240. If you have 200 members, you're allowed to have 1,000 non-members. If you have 300 members, you're allowed 1,500 non-members, and for no extra cost. If needed, text messaging is $4 a month with 2 cents per text. I don't know if you would need it, but here's the cost for us. And, whoops. Okay, don't tell me my link's not working. Why isn't my link working? Oh, shoot. It worked before. Let me pull up my link. I'm sorry. My link is not working, and I don't know why. I checked it all out before I started this. And, well, here, I'll just pull up the spreadsheet. Where's my spread? There it is. I'll just pull up the spreadsheet. This is the cost for this. This is this cost is, these are the Club Express fees. This is the one-time builder's package. They are saying, I took their recommendation. I based it on that. It's $1,920 the first time only. And then the monthly fee for us would be $288. And if we decided to do text messaging, we would have to maybe add another 100 a year. These are yearly costs. And then the first year cost with the monthly payments and our initial setup fee would be $2,308. After that, the yearly cost would be $388 a year. Now, what I did is I looked at it, what the costs were going to be. But here's the cost we have right now that I know about. We have the Remind. We have reached all the limits of Remind, MailChimp, and Sign in Genius. They only allow like 150 people. So we're going to have to start paying for each and every one of those things. And Remind is $4 per year per person. So and then Sign Up Genius is $10 a month. MailChimp is $10 a month. Our web hosting costs are $10 a month. And I don't know what bank fees. So our total cost per year is going to start being about $560. This is what information I have. There may be more that I don't know about, but this is what I saw from what information I could get about our cost. And so.
Well, and then there's SurveyMonkey. SurveyMonkey has a fee.
Do they? Okay, so I didn't have SurveyMonkey in there. So that's another, so we're above the limit on SurveyMonkey too then.
Well, we usually only exceed that limit for about a month out of the year. So we only pay for it for a month and then we cut it out. But even then, it's kind of a pain. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So what, you're adding another 20 bucks or something, or?
I think it's about 40.
40? Okay. I'll put that in this here and put, yeah, I thought we were using the free survey. Okay.
Well, we do use the free, but like, you know, when we do all of the, they have a limit. And when we do many, and the hope is to do many mock elections, we will absolutely exceed the SurveyMonkey.
Okay. So then that's $600. That's adding $600 a year. Okay. I didn't know that we had SurveyMonkey. Thank you. I'll save this and send it on. So what I did is I divided the cost, the total cost of Club Express. So the first year cost, I did it for 5 years. The first year cost are $2,308. That's what the monthly fee and our initial startup fee. Then for the next 4 years, we won't have the monthly fee, and at the most we'll have that's with all the extras, a $393 yearly fee. So the total cost for 5 years is $3,800. If we divide that out, if we stretch that out over a cost of 5 years, it cost us $766, and after 7 years, it's $540, which would be less than the known cost that we're doing now. The thing itself is pretty inexpensive. It's the sign-up fees that they're making their money on, I'm sure.
Do they tell you how long they guarantee that rate for?
No, that was as of, yes, they did not say that. I don't know if they can, you know.
Because if we, you know, because that's could, sometimes they do that, right? They say, okay, it's $24 a month, and then all of a sudden.
Right, it's $50 a month or something, yes. And that's another thing that we need, that, you know, the board needs to consider. I mean, I threw a couple of extra in this, so this price might not be as much, or if they say there's extra fees for this, which I don't know. So here are our costs. These are the costs I have when I just added the SurveyMonkey. So we will probably be paying between web hosting costs, MailChimp, SurveyMonkey, Sign Up Genius, and Remind. Because Remind already is, I had to go through and try to pull off some people off Remind just to get the new people in. And I'm running out of people to pull off.
Yeah.
So same thing with the MailChimp is saying now that we've got too many things on there, and Sign Up Genius is saying we're reaching our limit. So when I sign people up, I see that little thing there. So,
but the other thing is that this would save you, Barb, right? Because right now we're using, you know, you input everything, you go into Sign Up Genius, MailChimp, Remind, all of that stuff.
I put them all in.
And you wouldn't have to do that.
Right. Well, it's just easier for me to do it, because if I have to wait for somebody else to do it, then that person doesn't get in. When they register, I put them in, all those things.
No, I know you do, and it's amazing that you do it. But with this program, this particular platform would save you that. Like you.
Right. Well, actually, you wouldn't even be entering them. They'd be entering themselves.
Right.
Yeah. Our only thing is that we're going to have to send this stuff to national, to the state. I don't have to put it in the other database to send it like I do now. I do I put stuff on our roster, and then I put things in the new database that the state has.
So what you put in national doesn't flow down to state anymore?
Yes, when we put it in, well, actually, yes, it does. It does flow down to state.
Okay, because I thought, because back in the day when I did it, you put everything in national, it flowed down to state, and then Cook County got that information as well, but that was because they were so tied with state.
Yes, and they're still doing that. When I put it in that new database, they actually, they take it, and they made some changes to it, but I mean, it's a new database. That's a brand new database that they have. The other one, so it flows back down, you know.
So this, if all of our members put ourselves into this, although we probably would have to put them in, this would automatically load up to national, so that would eliminate that January task, and then it would automatically flow down to state and county anyway.
The problem is, if you hook to national with this, now he says we don't necessarily have to hook with national because Illinois isn't hooked to this. Because Illinois did not is not part of this Club Express.
But state is still hooked up with national, right? So we would just downstream instead of our feeding.
Right.
Okay.
But the thing is, and that's some of the thing, let's say I register on this Club Express and I'm a new member, and I register today. When I put my dues in, when I pay for it, and I put my $80 in, that I will have to renew it again on September 24th, 2021.
Oh.
A reminder will be set out, because if it goes to state, if we hook to the national, it will do that. So we won't have this one yearly thing where we can keep that money and put it, not that we're getting any money.
Because they don't renew. Yeah, no,
Right.
I know what you're saying.
Okay, so it's an automatic renewal then. So you're gonna have people registering today and then paying on the 24th. And then if somebody registers October 1st, their anniversary date will be October 1st of 2021.
Right.
So it's not
And
like,
this website takes care of that. We don't have to worry about it.
yes, the website will do that. It will send them the reminders, but that'll mean that you won't have a chunk of money coming in at one time. This is going to be filtering in $80 at a time.
So it'll be happening real time instead of that compressed period of time that we currently have set up right now, just to
Right,
keep
and it
ourselves
also
sane.
too, nobody will have that grace period of like 5
Right.
months or 6 months. So if we do that, then everybody will be, if I register now, and then I will get a notice like, September 1st or something, whatever we decide, remind you, your dues are due, So, and it's automatic, and those are automatic reminders.
Well, and then if that happens, then that prevents our like managing like the number of people national knows about, which we know downstream to state and county. So yeah, but I understand what you're saying, Barb.
Yeah, so
But it does take the burden off of us, which I think is nice.
right.
And another thing, just so people have a price point comparison. So when we used to be on League Easy for our content management system, LWV California is who we purchased that from. And they charged us $200 a year just to use League Easy. And I got quite a bit of it figured out. There was some other functionality that I never did get figured out. And I figured, and at the time that we were using it, because of the sophistication of our membership, shall I say, at that time, I didn't think it was worthwhile trying to even navigate and create that functionality. But one of the reasons I wanted to go with that, another reason why I think we should seriously consider this, it's all about sustainability. We're volunteers, and sometimes we have to drop out and take care of our lives.
Yes.
And, somebody doesn't need a huge manual about, okay, you got to do this and this. In MailChimp, you got to do this, and the Remind, you got to do this and that. Everything is in one place. And I like it very much from that perspective.
Well, and the people that are in charge of like MailChimp and Remind and stuff, they can just pick the names right off the list that we didn't even create, that was created by the person who registered,
Right.
So I had to be in middle school and I missed a little, but the organization that I manage, I've spent 3 years trying to reduce systems and duplicative systems and make systems talk to each other. So as I'm high level kind of integrating what this is, if it removes the need for at least 3 different things and integrates them, then it has basically almost sold itself without anything else. Because the amount of time that it takes for new people, I mean, that's the point you just made, right? But the change management and the issues of like a new person coming in, like, I don't know anything. I don't have the history. I don't know what systems Connie was mentioning. Like, I don't know about any of that. But I know that if there's a single place that you can go that has some things that are suboptimal, it's probably got some decent exporting reports it can help you run, I would think. I'm on the website, I don't see that.
Yeah, there's like like several hundred different reports.
Yeah, so if it has that and those can be put into Excels, there's almost nothing you can't get out of a system like this that you would need for any of those other places that require our data. And those could be run at any time, presumably. So out of like major ignorance and uninformedness, but based on trying to get rid of extra stuff, this seems very smart to me.
I guess I have a question. It seems really good at managing members and dues, and on that end, how does it manage events? Like right now we have that Google form that people fill out and then it goes out to everybody and everybody knows to do their little piece, you know, add it to the calendar, add it to a Sign Up Genius, add it to the Facebook. I mean, how does that part of it work?
I saw some of it. I mean, you can create an event and then push it out to, you know, like an event like that you want people to sign up for. And you can push it out to all your social media things at one time. You can say, put this on Facebook, put this on, you know, Nextdoor, put it on whatever your hook.
So if I have a book club coming up, I can create a book club event and say, put it on the calendar, make a Facebook event, put it on Instagram.
Right, and it'll automatically,
one time.
right, you click send out to Instagram, send out to Facebook. At least that's what I understand when he showed that simple thing. So, you know, the event is you create the event, and then you can push it out to whomever. If you just wanted to go out to the people on the book club list, you can do that. You can, you know, have a thing that says member of book club as a field and say, oh, I only want this to go out to the book club people.
Okay, so like anybody could create an event, or you would have a
Not anybody can
like security on it.
Only people who are given that administrative ability to create an event, yes. So you're not going to have everybody having access to everything.
And one thing you didn't cover, but I assume is probably there, is it does have a calendar, right?
Oh, yes, it does. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
Yes, he does have a calendar. It does have a calendar, and it and those calendars can be pushed out, I believe, to other calendar systems. You can maybe even push it out to like a league's Google Calendar or whatever if you want. But you shouldn't have to, because this is there. This will be the new.
Right, you want it in one place.
Yeah, this is the new LW, you know, VA thing. So if you want to ask any questions, his name is Jim Mischke, and he's the senior account executive, and this is his email, jim@clubexpress.com.
What is there's one whole state that went with Club Express. Which one was that?
What?
I thought it was Colorado.
No, I think you're right. I was going to say it was Colorado.
But I'm just looking.
That was me too, Colorado. That's what I heard.
I'm looking, I just did a Google search and
I don't know how Colorado did that. I don't know if the whole state agreed to do it, or the state said, we're going to do this on your behalf. I don't know how they did that.
Well, Colorado is one that the chapters have it, I believe, the state, and then it hooks right to national. And there's a couple, there's more than that. There's more. I think he said there were at least 10 leagues, state leagues doing this.
I don't understand why our state league has to be such a contrarian about everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, they just spent a fortune on this new one. So I have no idea, you know, I don't know what they're doing.
You know, they did that QuickBooks Online thing, and then they figured out they couldn't give us any of us statements because they didn't check out the QuickBooks Online reporting feature.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is with doing that kind of stuff, you know, using something like QuickBooks, they're not designed for being shared by 5 million people, because you're giving it, you know, you've got privacy issues and stuff like that. And you just can't do that. Plus, that's not the time of software that was designed for, you know, this type of thing. I mean, this is a big time database. And, you know, I know Jim McDermott says sometimes when something does everything, it doesn't do everything well. You know, it may do everything, but a lot of things aren't done well. So what I saw, and Nancy played with it and I played with it, I mean, there's some really nice things in there and it does a lot, but there is going to be a learning curve.
Okay, so those of you who researched this, what is your recommendation? Like if you had to make the decision by yourself, Barb, what would you do?
I might not do it only because we have a lot of members. I mean, you know, we've got young, if we could get some of the younger members to take over some of this, I think it would be better. But we've got a lot of people who are not real big on doing this kind of, you know, they can't, a lot of people can't run a spreadsheet in this club, you know, and play with the data in it and everything. I mean, you know, Excel can be, I mean, I can set up Excel so that it looks like a database and you can enter it like a database.
But again, I'm going to go back to sustainability and being able to maintain. I mean, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to go to League Easy, because I figured once I figured out how to do it, then the other people on board who had stuff going on, you know, I could teach them how to do the calendar events and make their own entries if they wanted to. And of course, I never got that far. But considering I was doing all the digital stuff at that time, League Easy really made my life easy. And we had a presence, people found us. And as long as I could get the information I needed, I was able to do it very easily and quickly. And that's what is very appealing to me about this.
Yes.
It's a huge investment up front for us. So I guess, you know, I'm sorry our treasurer isn't here to kind of talk through
that's
this.
what I would think. Do we have that type of thing to do? And, you know, this is learning something new, and you know, I don't mind learning something new. That never bothered me. But this is the thing you have to register for. Why the hell aren't these links working? Oh well. There's a let's see, let me get my screen up here. This is the thing. Can you see this where it says new customer
Yes.
registration? Okay. This is the agreement. And the name of this software is actually Gembrook Systems. It's called Club Express, but it's based on solid database work. And it's, this is our license. It has the right to all features and modules, the right to be, this is the reason I did not want to give us a free trial, because I literally at the end had to sign our life away, and I didn't think I had any authority to sign our life away to get a free trial.
Well, and we have attorneys who are members of our league, so maybe it might be worthwhile to have them take a look-see at this.
I was just gonna ask, I mean, I'm happy for another one to opine, but I'd like to read the agreement.
Yeah, Kareen is a lawyer, so.
Oh, awesome. We got one on our board. Woohoo! Okay.
I mean, I'm like a reformed one, but I still have a license.
Okay. So Barb, can you get this to Kareen, please?
Sure, I'll send her everything. Yeah, I'll send it to her.
I mean, these kinds of agreements that they're always kind of the same. We have no like leverage or ability to renegotiate anything. Like when you try to redline agreements like this, they laugh at you, pretty much. But that doesn't mean that we you know, can't just be a little bit more cognizant of some of the things that could change. So like, I'll look at it and I'll look for things like, you know, how many fees are there that they're kind of hands off, we don't control it, and could, you know, impact stuff like that. But to me, the agreement isn't going to make a difference on whether we do it or not.
That's true. That's true. But I didn't want to sign up for the free trial because I wasn't sure what the heck I was signing my life with. I didn't. This is on behalf of the League of Women Voters, and I didn't figure I had any right to do that. You know.
I'm just saying, I've signed a lot of agreements with large companies that have platforms that I hate. Like, the agreements are inherently obnoxious and one-sided. I just need the technology, so I suck it up because there's not much I can do, but at least I'm informed about how bad they are.
Okay.
And Barb, did I understand you correctly that we could build an event in the platform and it would get pushed out to like our social media accounts and Nextdoor? Is that what I heard?
Right, yes.
Because I'm thinking, you know, that would make Nancy's job a little bit easier from a publicity realm.
Right, and you're not sending it out to people and saying, well, load this on this and load this on this. You can just say, okay, send it to Facebook, send it to Instagram, send it to whatever, you know, it is. And you can just do it from there. You don't even have to, you know, you would put your, you know.
What I want to do is, can everybody take a look at the Colorado website and play around with it? And we're going to let Cindy view this recording. Does anybody else have any questions for Barb? I mean, it's not like she's going away. If you think of something after the fact, you can ask her, or any questions. If you email Jim any questions, like I'm going to ask him about the rate, like how long would we lock in our rate?
Yes, and here's his, if anybody else has some, just tell him where you're from. And, you know, and he's got us, he called me the other day to ask how we were, and I said I was presenting this information tonight, so.
You know, so I'll CC you all when I ask that question. And if you guys ever think of anything that you're going, you know what I'm saying?
It's
so
Jim at clubexpress.com.
Yeah, so that way we all have the same information, and basically we won't be able to vote on this until our next meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so because we need, first of all, we need Cindy here.
There's a number here for him too, if you want to call him directly. His extension 53. He's very good about getting back to people.
But I'm going to contact somebody in the Colorado League too and see what their experience has been with them.
I didn't find anybody, they didn't give us any information as to who to contact to say, oh, how well this works and how to, but don't forget, Colorado, the whole state is using it.
That's what I know.
I would think it would be, I mean, they should give us their contact in terms of a referral and like a reference, but the Colorado website, I just spent 3 minutes on, it's awesome. Like the state one, if it's theirs, I mean, it has like their tweets in one corner, it has integrated video. Wow. Everything about it is obvious and easily accessible, and the drop down is really clear. I like it a lot.
And if they did that on Club Express, that was done. You set up your templates and they will help you customize the templates to have what you want on it. But then you can drag and drop things into templates already created for the web.
How long do they anticipate something like that it would take us to get our website up and running?
I asked him and he said several weeks. He said, you know,
weeks isn't bad.
You know, because the data's got to be uploaded first. So I would have to give him access. I would have to give him our database that we have, the one we keep on file and stuff. And to see, I would like him to still have, if we're going to do this, I would like him to still have the fields for, you know, state rep and that type of thing that we put in there. The ability to, you know, because I look up the state rep for everybody when they join. Oh, wow. I look at the state rep, the state rep, the state senator, and their, you know, U.S. congressman. Mm-hmm.
So one question though, when you say several weeks, I've had the unfortunate experience of building 2 websites,
Mhm.
not personally, but being in charge of the build of 2 websites from scratch. And the only thing that happens in several weeks is the inputting of content created into templates agreed. I've never seen an actual website built in anything less than many months.
Yeah.
So just to manage expectations, like the Colorado website looks amazing, but it has 10 times more content than ours does. So in order to build that content, somebody would have to dedicate a ton of time. Or it could be like the framework, and then there could be agreed additions that could come when there was time to build the content. But that's a big project. Like somebody would have to own that project.
Yeah, building the website, I mean, even if you're going to use drop and drag, drag and drop abilities on a website. Now, I've written websites from scratch using, HTML and that type of thing. And technically I can do it. I have no artistic abilities whatsoever. So I've always given that part to somebody else. Tell me what you want to put in. I'll write the HTML for it. But it's a lot of work to do. But what this place is doing is it's giving you can get started pretty quickly because they've got a lot of templates already created. They will customize templates for you. And then you can do drag and drop type stuff, like you do in Dreamweaver and things like that, where you drag it over and that type of thing. And then you can edit it. Creating web pages is, now real nice. You don't even have to go in and put in the code for color. When I first did it, you have to put in the little 00, the hexadecimal for the color.
Yeah.
So it was, there's a lot there. This thing will do a lot from what I could see. And Connie, when you saw it the same thing, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, when I was on and I even looked at some of their videos after convention, and the more I saw, the more I was like, ooh, I'm kind of digging this.
Yeah, I liked it, but I'm not, for me, this would be a fun, not fun thing, it would be frustration sometimes, but sometimes these things are fun things to do, because I like to learn all this new crap. I mean, I used to be beta testing, so, this is, I love doing this kind of stuff, but the thing is, you're going to have to get other people in on this. I mean, you're going to have our treasurer be able to do, this stuff and everything else, because one person cannot manage the whole thing. You can have one administrator that everybody reports to, but the person who's the administrator can't be the administrator for the newsletter, the money, the web pages, the things that the sign up, things like that. You have to have separate people for that, like we do now, but they have to buy into this also.
Well, we would definitely have to have a segregation of responsibilities, because not one person can do everything. I mean, I learned that with League Easy. There was only so much I was willing to do.
63 people and just members, and then our emerging leaders, and then non-members that get involved. We're getting to be a very large league.
Well, that's kind of why we're in the straits we're in at the moment.
Yes, I mean those other things are just getting to be unwieldy. The MailChimp and the
All right. Well,
you
Barb,
got the numbers. I will send that information to Corinne and do that. And then I think I put this PowerPoint on our Google Docs.
yes, I found it and I put it into the board drive.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
Oh, the board.
And I've also recorded this. I'm going to stop recording now.